I was looking at him, you know, when he came in, it was like he was anticipating the Darren Gee That People show, weren't they? They were anticipating, like, I could see it in him. But he is what he is. Now there's a man who is distraught and still getting over the loss of his dog, and he had that dog for 11 and a half years. Let that sink in. Yes, Ailey, Sean Wright said, Ben Irving, Naomi. Yeah, that's what he said. I've heard mad stuff. People are saying stuff about, yeah. That's what happened. This is what I was saying to you earlier on. You know, the haters will get me when I'm being provoked and I'm going rah, 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 and spread it everywhere. But when I'm doing positive for people, you know, giving them a bit of light, it doesn't go nowhere. They hide it. They don't want people seeing me in that sort of knowledgeable way. He didn't even have to tell me his process. I told him, didn't I? I told him his process. Yes, Margie. MLR, Wellesley, Stabo, Gypsy. Why'd you call yourself such a name, la? Queen, Gypsy Queen, Edward Wright, Lil Sue TH, Lindsay. But I remember that, you know, with me nan. My nan had a Yorkshire Terrier all her life. You know, them little... But she fucking loved it. Took her out every day, twice a day round the park. And then it died, mate. It was like... When her husband died, you know, when my granddad died, the dog was like the husband. It filled my granddad's shoes for her. You know, kept her company. And then she lost it, and then ended up with some little sweaty pug that one of my brothers gave her. I was just like, she weren't the same then. But I seen that effect. You know, she didn't want a dog. We had to try and convince, you know, because she weren't going out now because she hasn't got a dog. So we were trying to convince her, just get a new one, get a new one. She's going, no, not on a level replace, not on a level replace my dog. But we got her a new one, and eventually she started going out on her daily walks again and going on, you know what I mean? So, a lot of people have got dogs, and without the dogs they wouldn't go out the house, to be honest with you. And everyone's, I don't know, you might have an opinion that I can hate dogs and all this. I don't hate dogs. You know, I just don't like seeing dogs getting used, like I don't like seeing a fucking kid getting used. Bad dogs all our lives, used to breed them. When we was kids, my ma's mates were breeding Kerry Blues. Do you know what Kerry Blues are? It's a form of Rottweiler. And we got one called Zola. We got a pup and called it Zola. You know, off Ghostbusters, when they're on the roof, just go Zola, and all the lightning comes out of her mouth. That's why we called our dog Zola. But it just got mistreated horrendously. Like, we'd try and sneak her food in and get slapped up for it. You know, in our house, you had like a back door, and adjoining the back door, you had like a cupboard. Like a cubby hole, like you put stuff in. For some mad reason, my dad made that into the kennel for the dog while it was a pup. And it was alright when it was a pup. But then they're still locking it in this dark cubby hole, so it starts butting through the plasterboard and coming through the door, and so it started to get hidings off and dickhead dad. Dad's battered and everything in the house, including a fucking dog. You understand what I mean? So we got to the point where the dog's just in the garden for like round the clock. It's not even getting in that cubby hole no more. It's ripped it to pieces. Big licks, jars, banged it out in the garden without nothing. Eventually gets a snide kennel. But the dog is like an anorexic. Skinny, violence, unapproachable white people. You know, because it's just being isolated from us. And us as kids would try and feed it and just get beat up. I told you to stay away from the dog. Alright, only throwing her a piece of bread or two. You know what, you could. And then going up, we ended up getting pit bulls, red noses. You know, a proper bloodline, American bloodline pit nose, red noses. Ian was started breeding them, but then some young girl got attacked, so Merseyside police turned up, took all the dogs, neutered them, cut off them and that, so you couldn't breed them. Any dogs that had the ears pinned or cut, or any dogs that had a little scar or two on the head, they took them and put them down. Dogs were Brewsters. So we get out of jail now. I get a Sharpei, big boss white thing. Is it a Sharp? No, not a Sharp. Yeah, it was a Sharpei. Not a Sharpei. Not a Sharpei. Akita. So I had the Akita for like 4 months, but couldn't keep it where it was staying. So give it away. Then I got myself another pit bull. Pitbull was boss, mate. But he had that when I was in West Derby. You know, with Quintus's ma. I had that Pitbull then. Couldn't look after it. Had it in Nanny Ann's garden and it just ripped and placed to bits. So I give it to the people round the corner. Give the Pitbull to some woman lived round the corner. She got it. So I've had a few dogs since I've been out as well, but I just haven't been in the right accommodation to look after them. I've had to give them away because you can't have dogs in like these rooms, it's mad. So I've had dogs all my life. I'll probably have a dog now if we have my own gaff. Like you, a companion, someone to look after. Because that's what it is, isn't it? Everyone just wants a lifelong companion that you can love and care for, isn't it? And if a dog fills that space for you, so be it. Christ does it for me. So I'm not as lonely as you can think. But hopefully, you know, the signals I'm getting over the last few days, the vibrations I'm feeling the last few days, I may just have my own place in 6 months' time. You know, a decent, secure place where I can build a business from, basically. Because you get people going on, yeah, why aren't you doing this? You can't do it when you're in insecure housing. Because that's what this type of housing is. It's insecure. You can turn up in a month and go out you go, or ding. When you've got secure housing, you're secure in the mind. So right now, I've got a secure home over me, I've got a roof over me head, I've got my base of operations. Now let's get on the ball and start looking after yourself properly. But I've had them promises before. And I always preach about them. I'm not going to preach about it this time. I'm just going to leave and hope it manifests. If it doesn't, I'm still moving down that path. You know, they're just things that I'm walking towards. Doesn't matter how they've come, they've come. They've given me purpose. They've given me focus. You know, I've got things being placed, not by me. Someone's coming in my life and all of a sudden there's things to look forward to on my path. Things are starting to fall into the path which are positive now instead of negative. So as I say, if I keep doing what I'm doing, understand the process I'm in, which I do, embrace it, stay calm, Don't be scared. Conduct yourself right towards everyone. Don't get wobbled and start being aggressive towards people that don't deserve it. And I'll be sweet. Regardless whether them things come to fruition, I'm still going to be decent at the end of wherever I'm going. That's the end game, Leah, isn't it? That's the end game, like being able to just shut your door of a night, put your feet up, and the only things you're thinking about is your woman and children. Nothing else is bothering you in the whole world, mate. Just sitting there with a smile watching your kid. That's all I want, mate. It's all I crave, just having my kids running around my feet. I get bored, shitless. Why? Because my kids aren't with me like they should be. Not on a sad thing. You know, the situation I'm in, it's not really the situation between me and mum. It's not like that. It's the distance, the threats to life, the lack of accommodation, so I can't have my kid here after 10 o'clock. They can't sleep over. At least if everything starts falling into place next year, I'll be able to go, you staying on the weekend? Ding, 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 ding. I can plan ahead, I can plot, I can make my life better. In turn, more importantly, making the girls' lives better. 2 girls and a mother. Boundaries, things will fall into place. You're a good man, says Nato. You've got to prove you're a good man, and I think I've never been on a fake thing. I've never. You probably had people wanting to step in and go, you know what, that's been. But that comes out of my mouth when I'm a little bit unstable. You think, wow, we can't risk it, and loads of people just back off. Just because I'm up and down with my mental health sometimes. It depends what page you get me on, doesn't it? But there will definitely be people sitting in the background watching my progress, watching my process, thinking twice about it. Should we tap in, should we not tap in, But the longer I'm conducting myself normally, the longer I'm conducting myself real, the way I am, not trying to impersonate anything, not trying to portray a different type of character. You know, if you remain true and real, eventually you're going to shine through. You know, they can only keep on saying, oh, he hasn't changed for so long, until there's too much proof to prove them. He's definitely changed. Look at the level of provocation he's had. Look how many situations and attacks he's had upon his life, whereas normally he'd be out the door looking blue murder. You know, and in a decade, people are going to look, he's been out for 10 years now, look, that's an achievement. He's not fell back into crime, he's not committed any other offences, he's managed to survive through a few attempts on his life, and right through that he's been going through. He's been delivering one of the powerfulest messages in the city of Liverpool. The most powerful message in the city of Liverpool. And it's one of them in the UK. Choose a life, not a knife. Doesn't matter they haven't got the backing off the police. It's not a police message. Doesn't matter they haven't got the backing off the government or the authorities. It's not a government or an authoritarian message. It's a street message. Born on the streets, belongs on the streets, with the people on the streets. And they all need to use it to their advantage. They all need to use it to their advantage and stop getting caught up in that poisonous vibration at the. It's ruining the youngsters, ruining them. It's not good for them, lah. Where are you from? How many jails have you got in your city? And who the fills it? You, your type, my type, his type, your mate's type, your mate's uncle, your mate's cousin, your dad. This who's filling that local prison. It's not a posh knob who's going to university. It's us, our people. You've got our people sitting in jail for damaging each other over drugs. It's a losing game, and all they're doing is destroying us, our communities and our future. I'm trying to stem the flow. I'm trying to create an army of yous who are looking at this situation going, if this carries on, we won't be able to raise our kids in a peaceful environment, because people will be getting shot dead all over the gaff. They're getting shot dead all over the gaff now. You know, we're on 2 or 3 a year. You know, if you want 4 or 7 or 10 a year, just carry on letting it be. You know, let's just bring all these youthful lads through and say, yeah, dive on a sudden, lad. Go and sell drugs. Go on, there's a knife, there's a gun. Just crack on, you whole generation of yous. Just go and see a deal drugs and go to jail and fill lives up. It's not good, is it? Do you understand what I mean? It's nothing good, is it? Look at how many young lads are sitting off in prison. And they think this is normal life. They think getting out for a little 3 months, having a raise, doing a bit of madness, going back to jail, they think this is normal. No one's telling them any different. Does my head in, mate. Proper wrecks my head just watching young lads. Just got young lads pissing the fucking life up the wall, mate, and they don't even realise it. And I'm screaming at them top in voice, and half of them will probably call me a dickhead. Yeah, fucking Darren Gee, the dickhead, soft him, he hasn't got a clue, haven't I? See you in 5 years on the landing in Walton, lad. Trust me, you're going to be on the landing in Walton in 5 years, guaranteed, if you're in that. Every single one of yous that are just stepping foot into that, selling your kits, selling your blooms, selling your weed, selling your little bits of coke, you're all going to jail within 5 years. Listen, the minute you step in jail, you're gone. 10 years, 15 years you're for. Won't be your first time, and it won't be your last. That in, out, in, out. If you start thinking you're hard, start thinking you're gamer, taking too many drugs, being too impulsive, you're just going to get double figures and ruin your life like a knobhead. All you've got to do is listen. Just listen. You know, you can listen or you don't, it's up to you. I'm not telling you how to run your life, I'm not telling you how to be in your life, I'm not telling you you should do this and you should do that. I'm just telling you this. You take that path of life, you're a dickhead and you're going to get up on it. You take that path of life, you're a clever, wise kid and you're going to know exactly and you're going to feel the rewards for it. It's simple. Even if you're up at school and you haven't got a criminal record, you can still attack that good life. You've been to prison, got a criminal record, you can still have a go on that good life. It'll be harder for you, but that's the consequences of your actions. It's still better. Trying to survive on this path with a criminal record is 10 times better than trying to survive on that path with a 10-year jail sentence. Just make the positive choice in the situation. What you're doing now, if you're doing your gangbanging activity, it's not positive. It's going to end up very, very, very negative for you. Yeah, your mates are buzzing in jail. It's all sweet, isn't it? You'll be buzzing in jail after your first sentence. You know, the first one will impact on you. Second one, it's over for you. Just don't get one. Heed the warnings. Got police knocking on your door wanting to ask you about various crimes. That's an indication to you that you're on the peripheral of being charged up. 6 months down the line, they'll be charging you with an offence. 6 months down the line again, they'll be putting you in court on an offence to get sentenced. 6 months, you're going into an adult prison. Some of you have never been to prison in your life, and the first experience is an adult one. You're better going into the white peace system before you tap into the adult one. At least you know when you're getting manipulated. Yes, Steph, at least you know when you're in danger. Don't think you're going to be pulled in a cell in an adult prison, mate, and have your back doors rattled. It all goes on, you just don't hear it. Yes, XO.